All right, welcome to Workshop Wednesday. It's my pleasure to introduce a wonderful representative from Sonoma State who's going to talk to us all about the CSU, picking and finding a major, and also about Sonoma State. So without further ado, Linda, please take it away.
Hi, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for giving me some of your time today. I'm so excited to talk to you all about Sonoma State a little bit and a little bit about the CSU system. So like Laura said, my name is Linda Calfee. My pronouns are they and she, and I am an SSU representative. I am specifically an enrollment advisor with Sonoma State University through the Department of Outreach and Recruitment. So I'm going to be sort of your person to talk to you about general Sonoma State things. If you have any sort of general questions about housing, admissions, or applications, I'm going to be the person that you can contact. At the end of the presentation, I'll make sure to leave my contact info below in the chat so that you can have that available to you. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. Sorry. Thank you. I'll go ahead. And does this look okay with everyone?
Yep, we can see it.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my camera just so that I can see a little bit better, but we are going to go ahead and start. Before we talk specifically about Sonoma State University, we're going to talk a little bit about the CSU system just to start off with before we dive into all of the amazing and unique attributes that Sonoma State University has. So firstly, we're going to start off, the CSU system consists of 23 outstanding campuses. They are all marked on the right on the map there where you can see. It is the largest university system in the country with the 23 campuses. It is the largest sort of system, and nearly 474,000 students and 49,000 faculty across all of those campuses. At each and every one, there is high quality, accessible, affordable, and student-focused education. All of the CSU campus have distinct student populations and programs. Sonoma State has a bunch of unique things that maybe Chico State or Sacramento State won't have, and vice versa. Each and every of these 23 amazing campuses are going to have very unique and very distinct and different type of student populations, as well as programs that are available. And more than 1,800 BA and MA, which stands for master's degrees in 300 plus subject areas. There is so much to choose from within our CSU system. And here's just a quick list of some of the CSU campuses that are within the Bay Area. So you can see we have Maritime and Monterey Bay, which are two of the smaller campuses. We have East Bay and Sonoma, which are mid-sized campuses, of course. And then we have CSUs in the Bay Area like San Francisco State and San Jose State that are much larger and tend to be much bigger when it comes to physical scale as well as student population. But that's just, what's in the area. Here I have a quick list, a comparative graph of some CSU's average cost of attendance. Sorry, it's a little bit small, but if you can see, Sonoma State University is listed here. And although the cost of housing really shoots our institution up on the list a little bit when it comes to cost of attendance, it's because SSU has what has been called dorms like castles. We are the #1 most residential CSU campus because of our non-traditional styling when it comes to our dorming areas. We'll take a little look at that later in the presentation. I have a short, fun virtual tour of one of our more popular dorming areas, so you'll be able to see and really see exactly where that extra money is coming in, because I'm sure you'll be blown away. But, just a little bit description about why Sonoma State is priced the way it is. Financial aid and scholarships help a ton. Speaking personally, I am an alumna of Sonoma State University. I graduated in 2020 with my BA in Communications and Media Studies. So I can definitely tell you firsthand, financial aid and scholarships help so much. You just really got to put in that time and effort to really seek out and find it. Sonoma State, as well as the CSU systems in general, are affordable campuses, especially when compared to UCs and other private institutions. And quickly before we dive into Sonoma State specifically, just some more benefits and contributions of the CSU system. 95% of students in the CSU system come from California. 88% are from public schools, meaning the first years that come in are usually from public high schools. 92% of new transfer students are coming from California community colleges. We are the state's greatest producer of the bachelor degree. We really drive California's economy with our graduates, with students getting degrees in agriculture, getting jobs and careers in information technology, business, hospitality, healthcare, which right now is so important, public administration, education, and media and entertainment. Really, you can go anywhere if you decide to come to one of our CSU system. If you decide to come to the CSU system, excuse me. It is the state's largest source of educators, with more than half of the state's newly credentialed teachers being from CSUs. Something to touch on is the graduation initiative of 2025. By 2025, the CSU system has a goal to increase all the graduation rates for all CSU students while eliminating opportunity and achievement gaps. So the CSU system is currently working towards that. We want to make sure that our students are graduating on time and with as many students from the original class as possible. So now we're going to talk a little bit about Sonoma State specifically, my wonderful university. So just at a glance, SSU was established in 1960 and then became a part of the CSU system in 1961. We're one of the smallest CSUs in the CSU system, like I was mentioning before. Out of the 23 campuses, excuse me, we are sitting at about 269 acres, which would put us at one of the smallest, but we are described more as a mid-sized campus. Across those 269 beautiful acres, we have around 8,600 students, including undergraduate and graduate students. Our average class size is around 25 to 28 students, which is wonderful for that really personal connection with your professors. And our mascot is the sea wolf, which is based off of the Jack London novel of the same name. I'm sure you've seen plenty of those little blue paws at the top hand corners of my screen, as well as some of these students in the photo holding some paws. The sea wolf is basically just a wolf made out of water. It looks really great on banners. Some even say that it's a wolf mixed with a dolphin. That's really more up to interpretation, but it looks really great in decorative wear. But moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about SSU by the numbers. We have been voted #1 in our nursing program by gradreports.com. We have the #3 most amazing campus art center. That is our Green Music Center, which, by the way, is the #5 most acoustic building in the nation, home to our music department, as well as our commencement and graduation ceremonies. We are also at #4 in first year, 4-year graduation rate in the CSU system, meaning that out of the entirety of the CSU system, out of all those 23 campuses, we are #4 in our first years coming onto campus and graduating on time within those 4 years. We are also #14 in our top public schools in the West, according to US News. And like I was saying earlier, our average class size is around 25 to 29, which really sort of reflects and models a typical high school classroom. So that transition is going to be easy breezy, beautiful. And our student to faculty ratio is about 23 to 1. So like I was saying, you're really going to be able to have that personal connection with your faculty and be able to get that personalized help that is so useful, and that I know so many students at other bigger universities really crave and look for. So going a little bit into our majors, I just want to mention that Sonoma State University is an impacted campus. What an impacted campus means is that some of these majors at this campus at Sonoma State are impacted majors, meaning that there are too many students that want to be in the major and are interested in it than the major is graduating students, if that makes sense. Basically, there's not enough room because they are just really great majors that everyone wants to take. Then I'll just go through those briefly with you all. Biology is one of our impacted majors. We have concentrations in zoology, ecology, evolutionary biology, marine biology, molecular cell biology, and physiology. Our business department, which is a popular program with concentrations in accounting, finance, financial management, marketing, wine business, special business, and management. We have our communications major, which is the major that I went with. This is for people that are looking to pursue careers in media, and the department itself offers media focused courses with an emphasis with hands-on learning through classes like video production, podcasting, radio, public relations, and journalism. We have our criminology and criminal justice department, which is the study of crime, criminology, criminal justice, and society. And this major really prepares students who are interested in pursuing professions in law and order. We have our human development department, which focuses on human growth and development across the entire lifespan. We have psychology, which is the study of the mind, behavior, and experience. Sociology, which is the discipline that studies groups and societies, what they are, how they got that way, and what impact they have. Nursing, which has been helping students get their nursing licenses for over 40 years. Our early childhood studies program, which prepares students to work effectively with children in early childhood, so basically birth to 8 years old. We have kinesiology, which is the study of human movement from multiple perspectives, and our liberal studies or Hutchins programs, which prepare students for teaching careers. So those are all of our impacted majors. And because they are impacted and because there are so many people that want to be within these majors, they are going to have sort of an additional thinning process to sort of weed out applicants. They are going to require an additional set of requirements, or in some cases, an entirely separate application, such as the case with kinesiology and nursing. It really depends department by department, but if I was reading off this list and anything sounded interesting to you or it really resonated, just let me know and I would be happy to pull up the list of requirements specifically so you can look at those. But moving on, we're going to talk a little bit further about Sonoma State University's academic opportunities for students. We do have 45 plus majors with 70 plus distinct concentrations. Just in case any of you are unfamiliar with the term concentration, basically you come in, you have your major, which is your main area of study. And within your main area of study, you can choose to concentrate on a more specific sub area. For instance, I studied communications and media studies, and I concentrated in video production. So that would be sort of my specialty. But moving forward, we do also have opportunities for undergraduate research. Students can further their research and showcase what they've learned throughout the semester in a symposium, which is an amazing opportunity to sort of really showcase what it is that you have gained. And we also have 60 plus 4 study abroad programs on 6 different continents. Our study abroad programs have been voted number 5 within the number of students who travel abroad for at least a year. So our study away programs are wonderful. Whatever your tuition cost is at Sonoma State, you will be paying that same exact cost, but just at a different school in a different country, which is amazing. So if, for instance, your financial aid covers your tuition at Sonoma State, if you were to go abroad, your financial aid will still cover your tuition at that foreign school, which is such an amazing opportunity. I would highly recommend that anybody study abroad if they get the chance. But maybe this is all just like a lot for you. Maybe you don't really know what you should even study to begin with, to even think about studying abroad. So sort of going back to the bare bones of it, what should you study? Something that really helped me a lot as a high school student going into college, I took so many personality tests. The Myers-Briggs test in particular is really, really popular. It's the one that everyone knows about. I personally am an INFP. Um, but actually, whether or not you sort of believe in those types of tests, really figuring out where you are placed can sometimes really be beneficial, because there are plenty of articles and things online that sort of match up the personality types with certain job types. So for instance, INFPs like myself are really good in counseling roles or advising roles like the one I'm in right now. Something else to look into are vocational aptitude tests. If you just look that up on Google, a plethora of information and resources are going to open up to you. There are so many vocational aptitude tests that you can take that are 100% free. And just in case you're unfamiliar with the term, a vocational aptitude test is basically just another personality test that you take. The system is really going to take in mind your skills and your personality type and what you're interested in and passionate about, and generate a list of jobs that it thinks you might be good at. That really helped me quite a bit, just to at least get an idea. In addition, you're definitely going to want to research all of the majors that you're interested in, as well as the jobs that you can get. So, for instance, you can research jobs that you can get with a degree in theater arts or in biology. Typically, you can find some really great information there, but something to keep in mind is that when you get your degree, it doesn't always necessarily correlate 100% to the career that you end up having. For instance, I know multiple people who, instead of going the psychology route, instead chose sociology as their area of study, but were still able to become therapists. You know, when you go and study sociology, maybe it's not your first thought, like with psychology. When I think psychology, I think someone's going to become a therapist. But there are multiple other ways in which that you can do that. So just using this sociology example, you can have a degree in sociology and still become a therapist, just as you can have a degree in biology and still be able to work in media. It really just depends on what your interest areas are and how you utilize the degree that you work towards. I also just really quickly inputted a way for you to look at all the degree programs that Sonoma State specifically has to offer. You can search degree programs at sonoma.edu and click the first link, or I have this lovely helpful link right here that I'd be happy to put down in the chat once we are done. Now, something that I know that a lot of people worry about when choosing a major is, oh my gosh, what if I change my mind? What if I get 2 years into, let's say, kinesiology, and I realized that I am an actress and it was my life calling to be an actress and I didn't realize it before, but now I really need to change my major. Changing a major is always an option, especially here at Sonoma State. We make it pretty easy. Some pros to changing your major: you get to study what you want. Here at Sonoma State, we make it really, really simple to change your major. It takes little effort if the major that you're wanting to go into is non-impacted, meaning that the major that you're wanting to go into is not one of those 11 majors that I listed off previously. It's going to be a major that is non-impacted and is generally open to everyone. If you want to go into one of those majors, it is a very simple process. All you need to do is get a slip, a little form signed by the department of the major that you are coming from and the chair of the department of the major that you are wishing to go into. All you need is those two signatures and you can change your major. Very, very simple. It's really, really easy to do during your first couple of years at Sonoma State, because within your first 2 years, you're typically focusing more on general education courses anyways. So it's typically really easy to do. You get to experiment with the different majors that are available and really be able to get hands-on experience and try to, discover what you like. I knew friends my first year who changed their major 4 times just because they wanted to really experiment, but at the same time, they were still taking their GEs and were able to graduate on time. And also, if you're wanting to change your major, you'll still get that academic support from your academic advisor. Some cons, though, that might come when it come to changing your major. Sometimes when you change your major, it might end up prolonging your stay. Sometimes it may take longer to graduate. Maybe you need an extra course or so, and you end up having to stay an extra semester. However, this can be easily avoided if you opt to take a course over the summer or winter, which is something that I did and was able to graduate on time, even though I personally changed my major during my third year. Sometimes you also get excess units. Let's say you were a biology major for 2 years and you have all of these biology units and you change into something like sociology. All of a sudden you have all of these excess units that take up your elective units. So it can get a little bit messy when it comes to the unit counts. And you also have to get familiar with an entirely new department. And sometimes that also means making new friends. And the cons definitely shouldn't be something to deter you away from ever changing your major. It's just always an option. It's always something that you should be open to the idea of. But I think that changing your major at the end of the day, as long as you go about it smartly and you seek out the support that you need, is always going to be an idea that is going to benefit you if it's something that you truly, truly love to do and that you're passionate about. At least that's my perspective. But just so you know, I wanted to put that information out there since I know that so many first years when they're coming in really, really stress out about having to stay on the same track the entire 4 years, which, isn't true in a lot of people's cases. But we are going to go ahead and move on a little bit more. I want to briefly just touch a little bit on our athletics. Sonoma State University is an NCAA Division II athletics campus. Some of our Division II sports include men's and women's basketball, baseball, golf, soccer, softball, and volleyball. But if you are not recruited officially into any of our Division II sports, we have plenty of club sports and intramural sports that you can still attend for fun. Some of these include cheer, dance, equestrian even, lacrosse, rowing, rugby, and so much more. I personally had a friend that started an ultimate frisbee team and was the captain. And it was a lot of fun. So club sports are something that you should definitely keep an eye on if you're someone that likes to be more active and doesn't want to be in one of the official Sonoma State Division II sports. Now we're going to talk a little bit about campus housing, which I am super excited to talk about because this is my favorite thing to bring up when I speak to new prospective students. Sonoma State University has a very non-traditional suite and apartment style housing across 6 different residential villages. And all of these residential villages are named after wine, of course, because we're Sonoma State and wine country, and we love to have fun with our names and wine puns. So out of these 6 residential villages, there are a couple of suite style residential villages and a couple of apartment style villages. And basically what this means is apartment style is going to have more space as far as your communal and living space. The apartment style houses also come with kitchens and personal bathrooms instead of communal bathrooms. Suites are going to have a communal bathroom more often than not, as well as a smaller but still really cozy and spacious living space, communal area for everyone to use, and as well will not come with an additional kitchen like the apartment styles will. Now, how the students are sort of distributed out into our dorming areas is through our living learning communities. Basically, depending on what you're interested in and what major you're going into and how you identify personally, you're going to be placed into one of our living learning communities. For example, I personally lived in what we call a Unity House, which is specifically for our LGBTQ plus student population so that they can live in a gender inclusive space with people also in their community. I was placed in this living and was able to meet people that were like me, and I made lifelong friends. I still have friends that I talk to from my first year dorm, which is wonderful. I know that there's also specifically communities that are dedicated towards STEM. So if you are someone that is in a STEM major, you can live with people who are also interested in that. There were global engagement communities. So if you're interested in global engagement and international affairs, you can live with people who are also interested in that, and so on and so forth. I know that there's one for theater arts, but that is basically how the living communities are separated. So you're always going to be able to be living near someone who is going to either be in the same classes as you or are going to be similar to you in some way and make it much, much easier for you to make friends. First-time first years and transfer students are guaranteed housing for their first year, which is wonderful. If that is something that you are worried about, then fear not. You will be guaranteed housing for your first year on campus. And 90% of our first year students actually do live on campus. And to sort of give you an idea why that might be, I am going to show you just a quick virtual tour of one of our more popular apartment style dorms. I'm going to turn that down a little bit so I can speak over. There we go. So this is one of our apartment style dorming areas. This is Sauvignon Village. Each dorm in Sauvignon Village is going to look pretty similar to this. As you can see, there is a kitchen area with a fully equipped stove, refrigerator, and microwave that are already there when you move in. We have this small dining area with a rounded table and chairs, which again is also already in the house when you move in. All of the furniture is, so that you don't have to worry about lugging huge chairs and tables and beds into your dorm. This is a traditional single Sauvignon room. As you can see, there is a bed area, a small bookshelf, a desk, and a personal bathroom. So as you can see, whoever's going to be staying in this room will be able to have the bathroom all to themselves. Here is a typical double room. As you can see, there are 2 beds. Each student gets one of each of our furniture items so that no one's left out. And even though there are 2 people in the space, it's still really spacious. And the bathroom is slightly bigger to accommodate for the 2 people. And as you can see, there's additional linen storage on the left there. A nice, big, and spacious living area with an outdoor porch. These porches are wonderful for storage, or if you're someone that is, a little bit paranoid about their bike being taken. I know that I was. I would sometimes keep it up there. But if you sort of have no worries or you have a really great bike lock, there are plenty of places to park your bike downstairs in the common areas of the village. Here's a pantry. Sauvignon is unique in that they are one of the only villages that have huge pantry spaces like this. Here's what a typical triple room will look like. As of right now, Sonoma State is unsure if we will be allowing triple occupancy rooms for the next year, but this is just for your reference so that you know what a triple room would look like. As you can see, we utilize space with lofted beds and bunk beds, and we also put an additional wardrobe just to make sure that everyone has plenty of closet space. And again, the bathroom is slightly bigger to accommodate. And here is another typical single room. Typically within a Sauvignon dorm, anywhere between 6 to 9 students at a time will live in here. It really depends. There's typically 2 singles and 2 doubles, or 2 singles, 1 double, 1 triple, or 2 singles and 2 triples. It really just depends on the dorm itself. But that is what a typical Sauvignon dorm looks like and sort of what that living arrangement will be. So like I said, that is an apartment style dorm. There are suite style dorms. The major differences is that they more commonly have communal bathrooms. So a bathroom that you'd be sharing with everyone within your suite, as well as no kitchens. However, even though the suite style dorms have a shared bathroom, the suite style dorms are smaller, typically containing around 4 to 6 people. So you'll be ultimately still sharing your bathroom with much, 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 much less people than you typically would at a different CSU, UC, or private institution. I'm sure that many of you have seen and heard horror stories of students getting shoved into broom closets like sardines or having to share a bathroom with like 20 other people. But definitely not here at Sonoma State, I assure you. Oops, sorry, there we go. So reeling it back a bit from housing, we're going to talk about campus resources now. So at Sonoma State University, you will have access to our academic advising center, where you can come in and basically talk to an academic advisor who can help you work out your schedule for the upcoming semester. We also have one-on-one pre-admissions advising and next steps advising. This is sort of my area. I do the one-on-one pre-admissions advising. If anyone is interested, I'd be happy to leave my link in the chat in the Zoom after the presentation, as well as next steps advising for any students who have already applied and already been accepted and sort of need guidance on sort of what those next steps are, how to sign up for orientation, how to sign up for housing, etc., etc. I do all those types of advising. So if you're interested, just let me know. We also have our Center for Transfer and Transition Programs, our CTTP. This is a center that is dedicated towards our first-time first years, our transfer students, as well as even some second-year students, and just helping sort of bridge that transition coming from a different school all of a sudden to Sonoma State. It can be pretty scary, honestly, for a lot of people. And it can be a very, very big pivotal transitional period in your life. So the Center for Transfer and Transition Programs is there to help you out. They can pair you sometimes with a peer mentor who is going to be able to be sort of your support system for your first year on campus. They also are great about setting up workshops for you to attend and enjoy and make friends. So they are wonderful at the CTTP. We also have our Dream Center, which specifically focuses on our undocumented students, helping them with legal help, as well as connecting them with scholarships in the area. We also have our Educational Opportunity Program, our EOP. This is a point of entry program, meaning that you have to sign up as you are applying to the university, and that is the only way to get in. EOP is basically for our first generation low income students. First generation meaning that neither of your parents have received a bachelor's degree in the United States. So even if they've received a degree in a different country, you'll still be considered first generation as far as Sonoma State standards go. Sorry, excuse me. But the EOP program has a great span of resources for our first generation low income students, as far as a personal library, additional resources for scholarships, as well as a grant every single academic year. We also have the Hub, which is our multicultural center located on the second floor of the Student Center, that is specifically for fostering diversity and promoting inclusivity on our campus community. We also have our Learning Academic Resource Center, our LARC Center here at Sonoma State. We love our acronyms. This is where you can go in for tutoring and writing help free of cost. We also have our Maverick Center, which is our Military Service Center. Our Puerta Centro, which is stands for Preparing Underrepresented Educators in Realizing Their Teaching Ambitions. This is specifically for bilingual students who wish to be teachers in K through 12. Our Puerta will be able to work with those students sort of towards helping them pick out their classes and towards really trying to, I'm sorry, I'm just having a blank for a second, credentials, right? So sorry. They're going to help students sort of get into the credential programs that they need in order to become the teacher that they have always wanted. We also have our CU Scholars Center. CU Scholars is specifically for our, not first generation, our current and former foster youth. So if you fall into that category, we do have an on-campus program specifically for you that is going to help you with housing and just making sure that you are more secured in that, and also just providing that additional support for a unique student demographic. So now we're going to talk a little bit about admissions. So what exactly do you need in order to be admitted at CSU, at Sonoma State University as a first year coming out of high school? So first, you need to be a high school graduate. You're going to need to at least have the date that you anticipate being your high school graduate. You need to have satisfied all of your A through G requirements with a grade of C- or better. There's also a first year multi-factor score that Sonoma State takes into consideration. If you fall between a 2.0 and a 2.49 at the time of your application, you will be scored using this multi-factor score. Basically, we take a couple of aspects of your the student, being like, for instance, where they're from or what programs they're involved in, whether or not they were qualified for a free or reduced lunch. All of those things are going to be things that boost your application if you fall between a 2.0 or 2.49. If you fall 2.5 and above, you meet the minimum requirement for GPA. For our admissions requirements. So we will be looking more closely at your A through G requirements. So the multi-factor score is specifically for those who fall between that 2.0 to 2.49, or if they are applying to an impacted major. So all of those impacted major requirements, you're also going to have to meet. If you do not meet the impacted major requirements, but you meet the requirements for admissions at Sonoma State University, you can still come to the school. You'll just be placed in a non-impacted program. And just a couple of updates. Sorry, I know this looks daunting, but just a couple of quick updates for 2022 to 2023. The CSU system will continue to accept grades of credit or pass to satisfy all A through G requirements completed during the winter, spring, summer, or fall of 2020 and of 2021. All prior coursework has to be graded with a grade of C- or better, and must be earned for the course to satisfy all your A through G requirements. So sorry, I feel like I'm talking so fast. Another update on the SAT and ACTs. The CSU system will continue to temporarily suspend the use of these exams in determining admissions eligibility for all CSU campuses for the 2022 to 2023 academic year. And also another note on the multi-factor scoring system. If you're applying to an impacted major that requires the minimum eligibility index, like I was saying, your application will be subject to the multi-factor score. And if you are a California resident and a graduate of a California high school with a GPA between a 2.0 and a 2.49, you will be ranked by the multi-factor scoring system, which is what I was talking about just a second ago. And just some prospective steps to enrollment. For the fall of 2021 semester, we did extend our deadline all the way until March 21st of 2021. Obviously, today is the 24th. That application deadline has passed. But for the 2022 to 2023 application cycle, we do anticipate our applications opening between on October 1st and closing on November 30th. And our spring applications typically open up between August 1st to August 31st. And all applications need to be sent in through calstate.edu/apply. You're going to want to make sure that you complete your FAFSA or your California Dream Act before March 2nd. Your admissions decisions, if you apply for our upcoming cycle, you will know by the following December to March. The earlier you apply, the earlier you will be hearing back. CUF Decision Day is on April 10th this year. CUF Decision Day is basically an event that happens every single year around April time, around the springtime. It is a huge event where students are able to find out way more information about the university and really help them make the decision to put down their enrollment reservation fee and become a Sonoma State CWolf. This year, like I said, it is April 10th. It's going to be a wonderful time, but that is something that happens every single year. So when you want to apply, don't worry, you'll still be able to have that opportunity to attend a CUF Decision Day. Finalized admissions and housing placements are sent out via the student portal, which is called My SSU, by May 1st of each year. And the final transcripts of each year are due by July 10th. So that is just sort of what that timeline is going to look like for enrollment. And before I close up the presentation and open up for Q&A, I'm going to play this quick minute video about just what you can expect from Sonoma State, what the student life is going to look like, and just something to get you really excited to try and come here. So I'll just go ahead and play. Awesome. I hope you all enjoyed that little video. Makes me so nostalgic. We do anticipate returning to in-person, at least mostly for fall of 2021. So just looking at that makes me so excited and hopeful for what's to come. But here is how to stay connected. Here is our number from our Student Outreach and Recruitment Office, our number and email. Here is our Office of Admissions number and email as well as some links that I would be happy to drop down in the chat for you if you'd like to stay up to date on how Sonoma State University is responding to the current pandemic. It is really important, you know, and Sonoma State does its best to keep the student population and their staff and faculty as safe as possible. But that is it. I will